What's going on, guys? Really quickly, I just want to thank you guys for 500,000 subscribers on the main channel, IDK Sterling. Wouldn't be possible without you guys. Really appreciative, and let's get into the video.
Planet Earth about to be recycled. Your only chance to evacuate is to leave with us.
Cults. There's something really fascinating yet very terrifying about cults. They're large groups of people that all have the same ideology, the same viewpoint of the world, and a lot of them do very disturbing things. In fact, some of these cults have been the subjects of horror movies, and they're a very popular topic to talk about. Unfortunately, the themes of these horror movies, some of them have happened in real life. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 disturbing cults. Starting off with number 1, we're going to be talking about the People's Temple. This is the most iconic cult ever. Reverend Jim Jones was the leader of the People's Temple, and he claimed that he had had a vision of a nuclear attack and he knew when it would happen as well, and that if people didn't follow him, then they wouldn't be taken to salvation. Jones started his cult in Indianapolis, but would eventually move it to San Francisco, which is where his cult started picking up steam and actually gaining followers. At its peak, there were about 5,000 people that followed the People's Temple. Things lasted for quite some time in San Francisco, but eventually it came out that Jones was abusing the members of his temple. So, in an effort to avoid this negative media attention, Jones moved them to Jonestown, which he said was a utopia or a perfect area. However, this was just a way for him to isolate his followers and make sure that he had total control over them. Everything kept building up and boiling to a point up until November 18th of 1978, when Jones finally pulled the trigger on what would be one of the biggest takings of people's lives in history. Jones would order all of his followers into the pavilion, which was a large space where they could all gather. He would then mix cyanide, which is extremely poisonous when ingested, with grape Kool-Aid and force over 900 people to drink this mixture. The kids were forced to consume it first, and then the adults, and eventually everybody was gone. Jones then took his own life. What's even more disturbing about this incident is that the entirety of it was recorded, and you can readily find this available in audio version on YouTube. And it is very disturbing. Viewer discretion advised if you do decide to go check that out. Now let's move on to number 2. Heaven's Gate Cult. This cult was around in the 70s, located in Los Angeles, and was led by Marshall Applewhite. Marshall Applewhite believed that spaceships would eventually travel over the Earth on the tail of a comet and pick up the spirits of those that decided to give up their own lives and carry them off to salvation. This cult was not very large, and the maximum amount of people that they had following them was roughly 40. One might expect that these cults would have very odd people following them. However, the people that were part of Heaven's Gate cult were normal people just like you or me. They were lawyers, businessmen, people that worked regular jobs. Heaven's Gate also had a very close sense of togetherness, which is probably why most of these people stuck around up until the very end. It took a while for the very end to come around, but in 1997, Marshall Applewhite convinced 38 of these followers to take their own lives. He said that they wouldn't be dying, but rather leaving their earthly vessels behind and traveling on the spaceship to salvation. What's most disturbing about this cult is the isolation during the last 5 years that people experienced. All of these members cut themselves off from family, friends, regular activity, and lived in one massive compound up until they took their own life. The third and final cult that we're going to be visiting in this video is called The Family, and it was ran by Ann Hamilton Byron. Ann's job was a yoga instructor. However, she referred to herself as the reincarnation of Christ, and a lot of her followers believed it. In fact, this cult was quite popular, with a maximum capacity of 500 people. Ann's followers believed that she was the reincarnation of Christ so much that she ended up adopting 28 children from members. She convinced them to give up adoption papers and make her the legal mother of these children. Ann would severely punish the kids if they misbehaved or didn't perform up to their standards. And on multiple occasions, authorities would raid the house, but she would force the children to hide. And this is how they went under the radar for so long. Eventually, the kids grew up, as they always do, and some of them were kicked out or escaped. They then went to the authorities and told them the horrors of the house that they had been living in. Eventually, in 1987, the authorities raided the house, released the children, and let go of all of the members. It was also discovered that Ann had been collecting 10% of her followers' income, and this made her extremely wealthy. She eventually died at the age of 98 from dementia. That is it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment down below letting me know what you want to see next. Subscribe, turn on post notifications so you guys never miss a video. Again, thank you guys for 500,000 subscribers on IDK Sterling. I'm so appreciative of it. I love every single one of you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.